Hello, welcome to the Pop Culture Junkie podcast. I am Shauna here with my bestie,
Olivia.
Hi.
Hi.
How
Truly
are you?
sorry to all of our listeners for the way that I sound. We tried to push this back twice because I sound like Lindsay Lohan after a Vegas club. And unfortunately, I was in Vegas. I was not in a club. I was just talking to accountants. And one of them gave me the plague. So
Stop letting accountants spit in your mouth, Olivia. Jesus Christ.
I know. It's such a kink of mine. I can't help it, you know?
Trade show, quote unquote.
Yeah, that's what they call
spitting in my mouth show. We're
show.
trading viruses and saliva.
We're trade showing. I know. Our mutual friend was like, why does this keep happening to you every time you go to a trade show? And I'm like, I don't know, because people are going to think sick. And, you know, if there's something that this hantavirus thing has popping up all of a sudden has taught me is that we really didn't learn from COVID at all.
Oh, no.
And nobody was like, oh, okay, I'm sick. Let me not go around thousands of people.
Literally, if you are sick, stay home. And there's no shame in wearing a mask. I know a lot of like immunocompromised people still like mask up. But like in Japan, and I can't speak to other Asian countries, but definitely like in Japan, if you feel like you have a cold or something, but you have to go in public, they just throw a mask on. Like they've been doing that for years. And I think that's brilliant. Like, I don't want to spread my germs, and I don't want anyone else's germies in my mouth. No. Yeah. Well, I think you sound seductive. I like it.
I know. When I was younger, I don't know if this was like a 90s kid thing where like you wanted to have a raspy voice. Like, what was her name? Her name was Brooke in the show. Oh gosh,
I have no idea.
This is where the sick brain is coming in.
You're going to remember in like 20 minutes.
Chad Michael Murray was on the show.
One Tree Hill?
Like One Tree Hill, yeah. It was Brooke in One Tree Hill, whatever the actress's name is.
Oh my gosh.
Sophia Bush.
She had a raspy voice.
She had such a good, like, raspy voice. And then obviously Lindsay Lohan did too. And I was like, if I had that voice, everyone would want me. So
I didn't know Sophia Bush voice. But I definitely had this running joke with Jessica about, it was an SNL sketch, and I think it was Vanessa Byers or Bayers, and she would go, it's Miley! And she'd do Miley voice, and then they would go, it's Lindsay. Oh no, it wasn't SNL. It was The Soup. It was The Soup, like a running gag on there with Joel McHale. Oh my God. So we'd always go, it's Lindsay. But I got teased in elementary school for my voice. I was told I sounded like a boy a lot. And now it is something that I get compliments on all the time. Oh, your voice is incredible. You should have a podcast. And I go, actually, honey, you should mention that.
But yes, I'm having tea. So hopefully the vocal fry isn't too insufferable for you all.
Oh, no, it's good. I don't think it's like vocal fry either. It's not like Kardashian fry. How are you doing? I'm good. I bought AFI ticket. Ooh. I was going to say tickets, but I bought just myself a ticket.
Just un ticket. Un AFI ticket.
But I figured it's in October and I just got a pit ticket. So between now and then, people will come to Arizona in October.
When is it? October?
October 27th. Possibly. So we can do Halloween things too.
Ooh.
We can go in our punk rock costumes to the AFI show.
In our punk rock. I feel like we've told this story, but yeah, we may have to resurrect that of, we're just old people dressing
we love your millennial desperate costume. Your desperate millennial costume.
Vintage.
That's just what I look like. Thanks, that's just how I dress.
Yeah, what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Oh gosh, working, napping. I feel like I've been taking a lot of depression naps.
Okay,
I need to stop
love the depression part, love the nap part. That sounds great.
I need to stop. I didn't realize they were depression naps until I woke up after like a 2-hour long one the other day, and I was like, this probably isn't good.
And then just so tired.
I'm so fucking tired. And then Stephanie said something about like, I don't know, spending money every time she leaves the house. And I'm like, that's why I sleep all the time. You can't spend money if you don't leave the house. All you do is sleep. Same with calories. You can't consume calories if you sleep.
You're also not burning them, though. So
that's true. I don't know. I have a lot of very active dreams, as Seth Meyers pops in every now and then. Gets my heart rate going in my dreams.
I also feel like it's older Seth Meyers. Like, I feel like younger Seth Meyers didn't necessarily do it for me. Older, yeah.
100%. Yeah, I didn't know that this was like a hidden thing I had until I had the most sensual sex dream of my life. I had this sex dream. Oh my God, I didn't text you. I should have. Okay. And it was incredible. Well,
tell all of our friends.
So, dear listeners, it was incredible. The most gentle, attentive lover. And it was Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which version? Like Hannibal version?
Yeah, I think. I mean, he always kind of looks old. He's like kind of
there's one version.
Okay. Like, is there other versions of him?
Okay.
Yeah, I 60s,
have to
70s.
Say, I think that's a unique experience, but I love it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like think he's like hot. Like, I sometimes like people just pop up in my dreams and be like, want me to bang you out? And I'm like, sure, Anthony Hopkins. How bad could it be? And then it's wonderful.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, we gotta unpack that. I do love Hannibal, but like not sexually.
Oh, no, not sexually. I did actually. This is so funny. Maybe he was in my mind after that dream, but I recently rewatched Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal, and Red Dragon. And the whole time I was trying, I was like watching. I was like, is there any nothing? It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. You're like, he can't eat it in multiple ways, you know?
No, he could not. In the novels, I guess him and Clarice hook up though, which is strange. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
She like breastfeeds him and then they do it.
Oh, okay. Took a turn. Took a turn. I see why they kept that out of the movies.
Yeah, I know. Jodie Foster's like, I don't really want to breastfeed him. That was my best Jodie Foster. Was that good? Do I really have to breastfeed him? I don't.
It's a terrible Jodie Foster.
It was. Wait, who's the Stifler's
the
mom
confidence,
lady? Though. I really don't want to breastfeed.
What do you even sound like? You sound like someone from South Park, but I can't.
I sound like Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh my
God. Like if Jennifer Coolidge and Jodie Foster had a child. Oh, jeez. Do I have to breastfeed him? Ah, jeez. These cannibals. They're trying to kill me.
Just picturing Jennifer Coolidge as Jodie Foster's part.
As Clarice. Oh, hey, Hannibal. Oh, God. Hey, doing there where they put you in that little cage?
I'm dying. Okay,
we're getting like... I have no good segue for the topic.
So on that note, we're talking about witches.
We're talking about witches this week. Oh my God, my abs hurt. Okay, we are going to get a little witchy for this episode. We are breaking down the best and the worst witches in pop culture, movies, television, etc. But remember, sometimes bad witches are the best witches. Okay, we are going to go through kind of a timeline of witches in pop culture. And when I first thought about this, I realized I think the first iteration of like witches in pop culture was Macbeth, wasn't it? Like Shakespeare's stage production of Macbeth.
Yeah.
Double, toil and trouble. So I'm going to count that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Yeah, well, I guess there's probably been witches throughout like media, like books, pop culture. I mean, I think there are even witches in like Greek mythology, things like that. So it has truly been like a theme throughout time of people taking power outside of their own internal means is generally like how I think of a witch, right? Like someone who is grabbing external power from wherever it is, or power outside of typical humans, and harvesting that for good or evil. I think a lot of what we saw in older like Greek mythology and things like that was like witches often were like a warning of too much power taken and things like that. So I think that witches have always been an interesting theme throughout culture and what they're trying to say.
Yeah, and I definitely think that there's a lot to be said about like witches being seen as like a warning that men made that women were gaining too much power, right? Like even the witch trials, like they didn't put witches like to death in the witch trials, right? They put women to death. These women like were, you know, I saw Goody Proctor dancing with the devil. If you were seen as anybody who was a strange woman or who was thinking for yourself or doing anything outside of the realm of quote unquote what a normal woman would do, then you were considered a witch. So there's definitely like a lot of crossover between like witches and feminism. I read this really great book years ago called Witches, Sluts, and Feminists. It was written by Kristen J. Soley. Witches, Sluts, and Feminists Conjuring the Sex Positive, and explored the intersection between reclaimed powerful archetypes, highlighting how modern women are reclaiming historically misogynistic slurs, such as she's a witch, right? And I liked this quote. Witches have always been women who dared to be groovy, courageous, aggressive, intelligent, nonconformist, explorative, curious, independent, sexually liberated, and revolutionary.
Ayo.
So, go on.
Yeah, I also think we're going to kind of go into the portrayal of witches in film throughout the years. But I do think that witches have often been like queer flagging.
Yes.
Where they make a lot of these like evil characters really queer coded, which is, you know, fucked up.
Yeah,
just to like subliminally message that to children. Yeah. But, you know, I think a lot of the time, like people are like, oh, she's evil, but I love her, kind of like to all these witches, because we could truly like see ourselves within them, or really have like an alternate character and a misunderstood character. And so, yeah, I think that we've seen, I think like in the 90s, we started to see more of an introduction to like the good witch and good witches and people who use this external power for good.
Yeah. Or like witches you want to be like, oh, I love her aesthetic. Yes. She's so cool. I mean, obviously there's a lot of crossover in like goth culture. And like the goth aesthetic and like witches and stuff. And, you know, goth kind of started, I guess we don't have to do the history of goth, but gothic music and like style and things really started kind of popping off in like the 1980s.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the 90s was definitely the like whimsigoth, like witchy. Oh, she's so cool. Sabrina. Yes. And then, I mean, we saw kind of like the good witches versus the evil witches. You know, we're going to start at the beginning. Oh my God, we could yap forever about witchcraft. I'm already feeling so excited about this.
Let me get my tarot cards.
Yes, it's behind me on my shelf right here. So the film Haxan, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Haxan or Haxon, in 1922 was a Swedish-Danish silent documentary drama. It was widely considered the first cinematic depiction of witchcraft, dramatized the history of witchcraft and the Inquisition with striking imagery that is still cited today. Can't say I have seen this, but probably should. I should add that to the list.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going silent era too often, but when and if I do, I'm gonna add Haxon to the list. Yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of look at the stills. Then we enter the golden age archetypes of witches. Everybody's favorite, remade over time, The Wizard of Oz, defined the two poles of the witch archetype for generations: the cackling, green-skinned Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba, versus the benevolent Glinda. Margaret Hamilton's portrayal became the visual shorthand for evil witches in Western pop culture.
Yeah. Green skin, big crooked nose. Yeah.
The warts.
Yeah, the wart in the nose. And I think this is definitely kind of like the maiden versus the crone, right? The three versions of womanhood, like the mother, maiden, and crone. So the evil bad witch and an evil bad woman is quote unquote ugly, right? Mm-hmm. She's green and scaly and bumpy nose and and she's the crone. Once women age and they're evil, they think too much, they're ugly. Mm. Glinda is pink and sparkly and blonde and this nice little voice, right? And she's the maiden. She's the good witch. Women are quiet and happy and pretty and sparkly, and that makes them good witches. So definitely a little notes on womanhood there too.
Very of the time. Very of the time. It's 1939, like traditional family values. Women were expected to fit into a box, don't ask too many questions, and truly like blonde, white was the ideal body type look and things like that. So yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
And we definitely see this kind of continuing on through the 60s and 70s with like domesticated witches. So Bewitched, which Samantha Stevens, she normalized the witch as a neighbor and housewife. Magical powers were played for comedy, domesticated into suburban life. It ran for 8 seasons. But yeah, she was just, a happy, doting housewife who also was a witch. But yeah, I mean, it was the 50s or the 60s, they still had to fit into that, what a woman should be. What if we made her a witch, but she was still a good woman?
Yeah. Well, she's also a little like mischievous, but like harmless. Yeah. And like, she is like a good witch. She knows more than people, but she like does it to try to like improve her husband and like the people around her. And she gets into like silly hijinks is probably what I would say there. Also blonde and white. So she very much carries the Glinda look into Bewitched, but she is widely known as like our parents' generation as like the witch, right?
Yes, 100%. Super cute show. Reminds me of I Dream of Jeannie too. It is kind of like the same thing that was also like, she is a suburban housewife. Oh, but she's also a genie.
Yeah, and her mom was a witch, a little more evil, so she was a redhead.
Oh, and Bewitched, yes. In Dora, the evil witch. And was she even that evil? She was just a little more,
I hate men.
I don't know. Sarcastic, yeah. A little misandrist. We love it. I will throw in the Addams Family and the Munsters. Morticia Addams definitely wasn't like a witch, right? But she fits that kind of witch archetype, kind of like the gothic witch aesthetic that kind of like got it into Americans' households, right? These weirdo goth families who do strange things, but still are a happy family. So we'll throw those in for good measure too.
And then, honestly, a very, very iconic film. I hate the man that made it, but very, very iconic. We go into 1968 with Rosemary's Baby. So it's Roman Polanski's horror landmark, reframed witches as a secretive, like, urban cult. that are real, dangerous, and conspiratorial rather than fantastical. This movie is amazing. It is like an allegory for abortion, all of these things, and the plight on women. It has a lot to say. It's a very good movie. It still holds up to this day.
I think so too. I hate that it's Roman Polanski, but I love that movie.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Mia Farrow in it is just amazing.
She makes me want to cut all my hair off.
Yeah, don't. We do not have that bone structure.
We don't. Our foreheads are too big.
Our foreheads are too big and we have very round faces. But that's not about us. No, I think that this movie really did capture like the fear of witches.
And Satan, for sure. Kind of that Satan, satanic. Yes. I mean, Satanic Panic was definitely kind of like in the 80s.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was definitely like everybody.
This movie stuck in people's minds.
Yeah. Anybody who was, you know, weird or different or listened to rock music or played Dungeons and Dragons or wore black was worshiping Satan. And therefore.
Yeah. And ultimately, that's like a very old theme of witchcraft, right? Like we saw that in the witch trials is they were worshiping Satan. So we had seen like a lot of these like, oh, fun, silly, goofy witches. But Roman Polanski kind of brought it back of like, no, these are devil worshippers here. Yeah. And we should fear them.
Yeah, like The Exorcist definitely laid groundwork for a Satanic Panic too. I mean, there's no like witches in that movie from my memory. It's just literally the little girl's possessed by Satan. But we definitely see like that crossover with like witches and Satanism a lot. I have personally been accused of worshiping Satan and being a witch. And I think that's just anybody who looks a certain way or women who use their voices in a certain way throughout history, right? But I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
Hold up. Her sister was a witch.
What you're saying is we then move into a golden age of witchcraft in television and movies that you and I probably grew up with a lot, Olivia. So empowerment, horror, teen witches, like the witches we kind of want to be, but they're also bad, but we also like them, right? We have the Witches of Eastwick with Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer. So women who discover their powers framed as female agency and sexuality, tension with patriarchal forces in Jack Nicholson's Devil. Oh my God, Jack Nicholson is so gross in this movie. He's
arguably all the time.
He better not sneak into like a dream tonight now that I just said that. If I have a sex dream with Jack Nicholson tonight, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, that absolutely is going to happen now.
It's going to happen. I put it into the ether. Hocus Pocus in 1993. Camp, comedic witches. They're evil, but we love them.
Yeah, they just want to harvest some children. They're like a real Hansel and Gretel story there.
Exactly.
Just like, I love Sarah Jessica Parker in that movie so much, though. She looks so good. Yes.
She looks amazing.
I know they were trying to make her look like scary and bad, but I was like, I just want that outfit. I just want to be her.
She just looks great.
Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. In 1996, we had The Craft, which is one of my favorite witch movies ever.
Me too.
I think that it is such a, like a grunge goth like aesthetic. Iconic to this day. And teen girls discover Wicca as a rebellion and power. And we really see these young women dynamics at play as well. I think obviously it's like about witchcraft, but you can kind of see yourself within these different characters as well. And it's just such a good story within it. I mean, I watch it every Halloween.
It's so good.
I wear The Craft shirt. I think it's like such a cool aesthetic and movie.
Yeah, definitely that like teenage witch kind of rebellion. Yeah, like witchcraft was really getting kind of cool, and like Wicca was getting really cool in the 90s, right?
Well, yeah, it was like the goth thing to do, and, you know, being a goth was cool. So, like, leaning into that and pretending you were a witch with, like, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Oh, my God. Do you remember playing that at sleepovers?
Yeah.
So funny. Yeah. I remember thinking I was a witch in elementary school and being, like, one of the weird girls in the playground. And we were making little, like, potions out of sand in the sandbox on recess. Such fucking dorks.
I love it.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch in 1996, one of my favorites. I'll go into more detail later about my girl Sabrina, but she was based on Archie comics. And the series returned the witch to the gentle comedy, magic as a teenage metaphor, silly shenanigans.
I love it so much. We had Charmed, which was The Three Sisters is the Power of Three, ran for 8 seasons. Really kind of brought the coven of women as a uniting thing, an empowering thing. And they had this message of good versus evil, but overall they were all good witches who explored witchcraft as like identity. And I watched it when I was younger, kind of like how I watched Buffy. I wasn't like all the way through, but I have been debating restarting Charmed just for nostalgia. So maybe I'll have to add that in there.
I never watched Charmed, which is surprising because it seems like something I would really like. And like I've watched maybe the first like 2 or 3 episodes.
It was like when you were in your Christian Girl era.
I mean, honestly, yeah. But like I was like that. I was like weird crossover between like Christian Girl, but like I didn't care about things like, oh, that's evil. No, I don't give a fuck. I would watch or listen to anything. I don't know. I just like the WB and like UPN like never really like tickled my fancy for some reason. But maybe I should give it a whirl. I don't know. Practical Magic came out in 1998. Just announced a sequel for this movie. The trailer. Exciting. Everybody looks great. Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman are cursed sisters. Romanticized cozy witchcraft. Hereditary gift and burden. Kind of a warm, female-led fairy tale tone. Love that movie.
So good. Then we really move into fantasy in the mainstream. So we run into movies like the Harry Potter series, which is a whole world of witches and wizards. We have, these iconic witches like Hermione Granger, Professor McGonagall as just these memorable characters. Of course, we're biased. We grew up in the 90s and 2000s. So these characters, despite its writer, will always have a iconic and melancholic feel for us.
I agree. Oh gosh, I remember reading the Harry Potter series for the first time. I read the first book. Gosh, I must have been in like the 3rd grade, and I was in like the gifted program at school, and we were reading Sorcerer's Stone, and I didn't know how to pronounce Hermione. What kind of fucking name is that? Sorry if your name's Hermione. I'm sure it's a great name. So I would read it as hormone in my head.
Hormone.
Hormone, Ron and Harry went to class. I knew what hormones were, but the name Hermione, I was like, what is that? Hormone, okay.
I love that.
We will also talk more about this witch later, but Buffy the Vampire Slayer also featured teenage witches in the form of Willow Rosenberg. So next we move on to Renaissance revisionist witches of the horrors. Some of them were probably horrors.
Yeah, I hope so.
American Horror Story Coven. I think you're going to talk about this a little bit later, right? Yes. I actually didn't watch that season. I know.
We have to end the podcast right now.
I watched season 1 and half of season 2, and
Shauna,
I don't like American Horror Story. It makes me feel icky. I'm not squeamish. I will watch gross, disgusting things. This show made me feel like I needed a shower after every episode.
No. You would like you would like.
Is there a lot of graping people?
No,
I feel like,
not at all.
I feel like every American Horror Story, I'm like, oh, and someone's getting sexually assaulted. There we go. Cool.
I feel like season 1 is dark, but did you watch season 2? Because season 2 is disgusting, and I don't like season 2.
That's why we stopped watching, is because season 2, I was just like, this isn't
amazing.
going anywhere, and it's gross.
Season 3 is amazing. No, season 2 is disgusting. Season 3 is Coven, and it's so fucking good. Oh my God, it's amazing.
Maybe I'll give it a whirl.
You have to watch it. It's so good. It's so good. It's amazing. Ugh, yeah, it's
the minute somebody gets assaulted, though, I'm texting you.
It's one of my favorite witch series of all time.
Oh shit. Well, then I do have to watch it.
Yeah.
2015 Robert Eggers horror period movie The Witch, or The Vavitch.
The Vavitch. Dude, that one's fucked up too.
I love that movie. Do you remember when I sent you that video of me naked outside getting Buffy?
The bitch. Yeah, it was very
last, like a month before Buffy died. I was letting her out to go to the bathroom, and it was nighttime, and she was blind in her final days, and I was like, I was naked and getting ready for bed, but I was like, this will be fast, whatever. Open up the screen door. And she goes out and, she's doing her business. And I'm watching from inside. And I see her make just a fast beeline to the pool. And I'm like, God damn it. And I'm just butt fucking naked. Rip the door open. And I'm like all hunched over for some reason. And it's all captured on the Ring camera. And I'm like hunching over to the dog. And I whisk her up and run inside. And it's that like grainy kind of green camera footage. I showed it to Andrew and he said, you look like you're in a Robert Eggers movie.
But really,
you look like you're about to cook her in a stew.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Buffy.
My precious. Yeah, and then really kind of in 2018, we started to see a callback or a return to some of our iconic characters, but with like a twist. I absolutely love this show. I think I like it more than the 90s one. We have The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I'm iffy on this show.
Yeah, it's Netflix dark reimagining of Sabrina. It talks about the satanic panic that we mentioned, feminist rebellion, gothic horror, and it's a more serious take. I will not forgive them for not giving me a talking cat in it.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, I think that I really, really liked the first 2 seasons of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. They let the creator of it go a little Riverdale at the end, but the first 2 were so good.
I totally agree. I loved the first season. I think it went off the rails once, and it was so Riverdale. Once people start singing and there's like musical. Listen, I love a musical episode, but if everybody's singing in every episode, it feels very Disney. Like we're trying to launch these actors' singing careers, and especially if no one's like that good.
Yeah.
And I also didn't like the way it ended with, her boyfriend. Oh yeah. I mean, it came out 8 years ago.
We're a podcast. You don't have to spoil everything.
I hated the ending.
Okay, there you go.
I hated what they did with her and Harvey. Nicholas Scratch. I hated what they did with Nicholas Scratch.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's all I'll say. But we move into Olivia. I love spoiling things. I'm just going to spoil everything. 2020's witchcraft examples. We have 2 Marvel examples of witchcrafts in the past 5 years or so. Wanda Maximoff / the Scarlet Witch became Marvel's breakout witch figure. Tragedy, grief, power, all portrayed with genuine emotional weight in the MCU. I love Wanda Maximoff. I think she is so complicated. She starts out as she's in the X-Men in the comics, and she has her brother Quicksilver. I'm going to spoil this because this movie came out fucking years ago, and I feel like everyone's seen it at this point. Age of Ultron, he dies, but she starts out as evil in the MCU and then kind of comes to the good side and joins the Avengers. But then as we see in WandaVision and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, she becomes a very like complicated, morally gray character who's willing to do anything to get her family back, even if it's, you know, kill anybody who gets in her way. And I love her. I love all of her arc, and I hope she comes back into the MCU soon.
Love it.
We also meet another iconic MCU witch in WandaVision in the form of Agatha Harkness. So she became so popular from WandaVision that they gave her own show, Agatha All Along. She's got that catchy theme song. It was Agatha All Along. She is a fan favorite villain, but also a broader cultural moment around the word witch, identity reclamation, feminism, queer identities. She's a little gay. Yeah. There is a lot of crossover with, gay and witches, which we will talk more about. Gay! And then, of course, Hocus Pocus, too. We talked a little bit about the first Hocus Pocus, but, where that money is, got to make a sequel. Yeah,
in true me fashion, I didn't watch that.
That's okay.
It was like cash grab.
It's cute. It's cute. Watch it to giggle. It's fine.
Okay. It's fine.
We are going to take a quick break, and then we are going to talk about who our favorite witches are and what kind of witch powers we wish we could have. While Olivia and I can be very witchy in the best possible way, we don't really have magical powers, unfortunately. We have to work for a living, just like you do. But you can make a little magic happen for us if you check out our Patreon. Join the Pop Culture Junkie Coven and help us keep the podcast going. We are not asking for much. Even the smallest amount will make a big difference. And of course, we have something special for anyone who joins. Find out how easy it is to get uncut early access to each episode or a super special shout out when you go to patreon.com/popculturejunkiepodcast and subscribe. Olivia, tell me about your favorite witches. Or just some honorable mentions that we haven't talked about yet.
As I mentioned, I love me some American Horror Story Coven. So honestly, all of them, I freaking love them. I think that if I had to pick one of my favorites, it's gonna be a real witch in our world. It's gonna be Marie Laveau. And she is the real voodoo queen of New Orleans. And she was born a free woman of color in 1801. She became a religious leader, healer, community activist, and entrepreneur, running her own beauty parlor while working as an herbalist and midwife. As the city's third voodoo priestess, she wove together traditions from conjure to Catholicism that is still very present in New Orleans. And she is portrayed by Angela Bassett in American Horror Story Coven. So good. I think that, in the story, and I won't spoil it because I want you to watch it, she is very much like a villain. I mean, voodoo is quite dark in practice a lot of the time. They're sacrificing animals, things like that. Yeah. And he let Ryan Murphy in there. So there are some crazy visuals within that. No, I don't think there's a dog that dies in it, given the fact that it's not stuck in my head. But
I'll go to doesthedogdie.com. It's okay.
Yeah, there you go. I think it's she's just an iconic, real person. And also just Angela Bassett's portrayal of her is great. And that's what I mean when I say I love an evil witch portrayal.
Yes. I agree. Oh, I'm going to have to give it a whirl. I didn't realize that there was real life witches in there that they were, historical witches.
And it's set in New Orleans. Yeah.
Oh, I love New Orleans. Oh, iconic. My goodness. As I teased a little earlier, one of my favorite pop culture witches is Sabrina Spellman, but specifically from the 1990s show. And I know that it's cheesy and corny, and, her and her aunts are not the most powerful of witches. I don't know. They're powerful, but they are just gonna do it for hijinks, right? But this show held such a place in my heart. My mom and I watched it all the time on TGIF. every Friday night we would go and like sit in the couch and watch Sabrina. It made me want a black cat so bad.
Hey, you got it now.
Yes, I have my obsidian now. But the show stars Melissa Joan Hart as Sabrina. On her 16th birthday, she learns that she has magical powers. She lives with her 600-year-old aunts, Hilda and Zelda, and their magical talking cat, Salem, who is actually a warlock who tried to take over the world and had to be turned into a cat as his punishment. It definitely ran for a little too long. You know, they stretched it out. And all of those shows kind of suffer from the same, like, when they're in high school, it's really great. And then they try to get in the college years and the adult years, and it starts to peter off a little bit. But it went from 1996 to 2003, over 7 seasons. And I loved that show.
Yeah. Speaking of like iconic 90s witches, very hard to pick between the Owen sisters, but I think Gillian Owens really is like one of my favorite witches. First of all, so iconic. Nicole Kidman in that whole movie is like all of my outfit inspo. Practical Magic. And so, yeah, I think she looks good. She is good. She's kind of a mess. I feel like I really do resonate with like messy but a heart of gold characters.
Feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, where it's like you don't make the best decisions, but you have good intentions.
Yeah, that's kind of Sabrina too.
Yeah. Nicole Kidman in it, like, oh my gosh, most of my Pinterest like outfits are her in that.
So
like she looks so good. And their magic is pretty like wide spanning. If I had to say, like, okay, what does that look like? And you know, Sandy was close, but she's a little altruistic for me.
I agree. Nicole Kidman's definitely the more interesting character, I think, in that movie. And I'm excited to see what they do with the second one. I'm glad that they're getting most of the original cast back. This is no surprise to anybody who's ever met me, but one of my favorite witches, as I mentioned earlier too, is Willow Rosenberg from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She was portrayed by Allison Hannigan. She started off as Buffy's shy, nerdy, computer-loving best friend who really like uses her intelligence, her hacking skills, her book smarts to help Buffy slay demons and vampires. Comes into her own, comes out as gay, gets a girlfriend dies, she becomes evil, tries to destroy the world, and then becomes good again. I mean, who amongst us?
Whomst amongst us?
Whomst. Her witchcraft is definitely an allegory for like her sexuality as well, and they make that running joke a lot throughout the series of like, oh, Willow's exploring a lot in college, and it's like nudge, nudge, wink, wink, you know, witchcraft and other things. Her girlfriend Tara is also a witch, and is just that flowy skirt 90s whimsigoth witch, you know. So I love Willow. The series is definitely my favorite show of all time, and Dark Willow is just iconic. It's interesting how they compare magic to like her being a drug addict, which is, you know, it's more successful in some episodes than others. She gets addicted to magic and goes to like a magic crack den, gets her fix, and like gets into a magical car accident. Yeah, it's a little silly, but it's definitely kind of like an, you know, overarching theme there too, of addiction and recovery. And yeah, so I love it. I want to know, who do you think is some of the examples of the most evil witches in pop culture, or the like dumbest, most like, really, that's her power, or that's their power?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you have to say like Melisandre, right?
Evil or lame?
Evil. Okay. Also lame to sacrifice and burn children.
Yes.
I would say that. Another one that, like, when I was really young, stuck in my head as, like, the evil witch was Ursula, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean you're going to take my voice just because I want, like, legs?
Why not both?
So, ¿por qué no las dos?
I do think Ursula is an interesting example because she kind of fits into that, like, if you're quote unquote ugly, then you're evil. Like, and, you know, she fit that like queer, like she's, you know, she's overweight. She's, you know, definitely a little like gay coded, and she must be evil if she's not rail thin and gorgeous and
lusting,
you know,
for a man. Yeah,
exactly. She doesn't want a man in her life. I kind of like Ursula. She's like, bitch, really?
I like her now.
For a man, you're 16.
Yeah,
but no, I feel like you're watching
here?
her as a kid, and you're like, oh my god, terrible. I think that the witch from Snow White is super dumb. Like, why does she hate Snow White so much? Like,
the evil witch.
Her and Maleficent. Like, I like Maleficent now, like kind of the character that they've made her into. And like, I love Angelina Jolie's portrayal. In the aesthetic of Maleficent, she can turn into a dragon. That's sick as hell. But like, both of those witches are definitely like, no one could be prettier or younger than me, killing for vanity, which is what an evil woman must do, right?
Yeah, but she can't age.
No,
don't age,
we can't.
But don't.
We're not allowed to
go
age.
Too far.
Yeah. So if you're aging, then you're evil. If there's someone prettier than you, then you must be jealous of them and therefore evil. So kind of stupid there. But that's Disney movies, right? We're a little rooted in misogyny, but I do like how they've kind of, you know, what they've done with Maleficent now and kind of like fleshing out her character. I think some evil witch shout outs could be Bellatrix Lestrange. She's pretty evil.
Oh, that's a good one.
She's pretty evil.
All of the Death Eaters.
All of the Death Eaters are pretty evil. I don't know. I love pop culture witches, and I definitely think that you should read the book that I mentioned at the beginning. It's fascinating and just kind of that crossover.
Oh, yeah. I would love to check that out. Say it again.
It is called Witches, Sluts, and Feminists Conjuring the Sex Positive by Kristen J. Solé. Before we jump off, too, I have one more question for you. If you were a witch, what powers would you want?
I feel like this might be cheating, but I would want like elemental powers.
Ooh, no, that's
where
sick.
Like I can control like earth magic. I think that's what I would want.
She's an earthbender.
Yeah, like I think that's probably what I would want.
I love it.
Like I could grow things, I could control like stone, like dirt, things like that. Yeah.
You're a green witch. I love it. I definitely, control the weather, make it rain in Phoenix, like make it not 150 degrees all the time. Witch. Do it for me, please. I think I would like Wanda Maximoff's powers, but I promise not to use them to create a fake town to trap everybody in. Just like the reality manipulation, telekinesis.
Okay, you want like Damati powers.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. Okay. She can fly. She can like warp things around her, create barriers, fight people. I love it. She's sick as hell.
Okay.
I think I would want that. Would you ride on a broomstick?
Fuck yeah.
You told me what riding on. Yeah. Say it real fast before we go, because that was a long time ago.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Okay. So the history of witches on broomsticks there was like a hallucinogen drug that people were doing, and they were putting it onto wooden broomsticks and sticking it up their hoo-has. And whenever they would do that, they would see like they would hallucinate, right? So they would they would act a little crazy. And so the witches on the broom came from, people just doing drugs up their hoo-ha.
They were having a good time. They were boofing.
They were, well, boofing is through your butt. So I guess they were boofing. Better hope no splinters in there, because that would really hurt. But,
I feel like it could work now with like plastic broom handles, right? Or like your Swiffer.
What was the name of what they were doing?
Write that down real fast. Voofing. Could I voof with my Swiffer wet mop? Okay.
It's picking stuff up later, You're gonna be visited by Jack Nicholson, and he's gonna voof you.
He's gonna want to voof me on a Swiffer wet mop. Or maybe he'll ask if we can do it, and I'll be like, I don't need you, Jack. I have my Swiffer. dipped in hallucinogenic drugs. And then Anthony Hopkins will show up and Jodie Foster.
And then
she doesn't want to vote for you. She doesn't want to do it. Oh my God. Okay. I think we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for falling under our spell on this episode of Pop Culture Junkie Podcast. Olivia, where can the listeners find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram at Livy Maries, Livimariez.
You can find me, Shauna Trinidad, on Instagram and Threads at Shauna Trinidad, ShaunaTrinidad. And you can look us up online at our website, popculturejunkie.com. That's where you can find our podcast on all platforms, our social media links, blog posts, and you can shop the Pop Culture Junkie store. You can contact us, join our Pop Culture Junkie online support group on Facebook, all of that and more. Please take a second to follow, subscribe, rate, and review the show because that does truly help us out. And of course, we would be honored if you accept our invitation to join our Patreon. Sign up for uncensored sneak peek at our next episode or get a personalized, super special shout out from Olivia and myself. You can sign up at patreon.com/popculturejunkiepodcast. And come back next week for another hit of pop culture.
The Pop Culture Junkie podcast is produced by Jeff Markin and Cheryl Lightfoot for the Pop Culture Entertainment Network.
So entertain me right now. I need it bad. 'Cause I need it bad.